What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to WWE 205 Live Review, the show from January 29th, 2019. They were at Phoenix, Arizona. You have Nigel McGuinness, Vic Joseph, and Aiden English as your commentators. This was the 205 Live after the Rumble. Basically, what pertains to the aftermath of what happened of the Royal Rumble pre-show, from that fatal four-way match for the Cruiserweight Championship. Yeah, which Buddy Murphy ends up retaining against Akira Tozawa, Hideo, Itami, and Kalisto, with Buddy Murphy pinning Hideo, Itami, which I said at the time I was not a fan of that idea of Hideo taking the pinfall. But what happens as we move forward? Well, let's get to it. So we kick off the show with Kalisto from the Lucha House Party, also being accompanied by two of the Lucha House Parties, and Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado, as Kalisto goes up against Mike Kanellis, who is being accompanied by his wife Maria Kanellis, who was on commentary with Aiden English, Vic Joseph, and Nigel McGuinness. And during the match, where it pertains to the commentary, Aiden English just kept questioning Maria Kanellis about her husband Mike Kanellis not winning and not getting opportunities. Basically ran him down like he's a loser. And I didn't like that, to be honest with you. I thought this is the easy way to bury Maria and Mike Kanellis on TV or on the WWE network, but basically you get what I mean, on 205 Live, because they asked for their release. WWE decided to not deny it, not request them that release, and this is WWE's way to punish them by having Eddie English doing the what he does on commentary, starting off as a commentator for this year. He's one of the last guys I expect to talk about someone not winning and getting opportunities. Because ever since he came to me, ever since Aiden English came to the main roster, he's barely won matches. He's barely got any opportunities. And that's another thing that irritated me too about Aiden English. He's talking about Mike Nelson not getting these opportunities because he doesn't win matches. Meanwhile, you got Aiden English who's the exact same thing ever since he got into the main roster. So, yeah, I didn't like what they did on commentary. And I didn't like how the match ended here. Basically the match was decent between Kalisto and Kalisto and Mike Kanellis, I meant to say, not Grand Metalik. Mike Kanellis loses. Kalisto got the win over Mike Kanellis. So the downward spiral of Mike Kanellis continues on, of him losing, not getting opportunities that he's been wanting on 205 Live. There's more for me to say about that, but I'm not going to. But yeah, Kalisto ends up winning against Mike Kanellis, and that's it. Basically it for that. Then we get to Drew Gulak and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. They talk about Humberto Carrillo, and talk about how he's a high flyer, and talk about he doesn't have to be a high flyer, because with the guidance of Drew Gulak and Gentleman Jack Gallagher, they can help Humberto Carrillo to become a better cruiserweight in 205 Live. That has nothing to do with high flying. In this whole no flying zone and the whole thing of to make a better 205 Live, and that's basically it. That's basically the gist of it. So it's going to be a story develop where it pertains to Humberto Carrillo, that's going to involve Drew and Jack. So we'll see how that turns out. Then we get to Ariya Daivari. He does all the talking for Hideo Itami, where it pertains to Buddy Murphy at the Royal Rumble pre-show, where it was a fatal four-way match for the Cruiserweight Championship, basically making an excuse of why Hideo lost. And he says that in the one-on-one match, he doesn't stand a chance. Basically, Buddy Murphy doesn't stand a chance against Hideo Itami, and he's going to prove it by facing Akira Tozawa. and then Hideo Itami talks to him in Japanese about his opponent Hideo. I mean about Akira Tozawa, I meant to say, and that was basically it of it. But yeah, that's all there is to it. There's more about Kenta too. Once well, Hideo Itami, but he's also known as Kenta. But we'll get to that briefly. Then we get to a parking lot that was shown earlier on that night. Tony Nese attacking Noam Dar. Basically, we had a parking lot brawl, and we had Drake Maverick come in to break it up. Buddy Murphy, pretends to bring up, getting Tony Nese away from Noam Dar. Sanjay Dutt was on there too. So that's Sanjay Dutt's role is be an agent for WWE on the 205 Live brand. Maybe we'll see more of him being a backstage agent. Maybe on SmackDown, or if anyone could fill in for me as well. Or maybe he appear on Raw as an agent too, or pertains to some pull aparts, whatever. I doubt that, but I don't know. But I saw him on 205 Live here, and like, okay, so he's not gonna wrestle. He's just gonna be an agent. So I don't know. It just means that he's retired from wrestling. Sanjay Dutt. Because in TNA he was they couldn't have him wrestle anymore because he had an injury, which is why he was doing commentary with Josh Matthews at the time, and then he ends up being promoted to be be part of Impact Management, and then also he was gone after that, and now here he is in WWE as a WWE agent. So. And also we had Drew Gulak and Gentleman Jack Gallagher there as well, watching the fight going on. Yeah, basically a fight between Tony Nese and Noam Dar, and the reason why this happened because Tony Nese he's wanted that rematch against Noam Dar, and Noam Dar will not give him that rematch. Not even the general manager of 205 Live, Drake Maverick, couldn't give him that rematch. So this is his way to do it, but it backfired because as Noam Dar and Tony Nese, the aftermath of that happened from the parking lot. Also, we get to the later on that night. Kayla Braxton, who's basically near the locker room of Buddy Murphy. I don't know what's wrong, the blank there. I'm sorry. Says that there were no injuries towards Noam Dar after that parking lot brawl. Which, by the way, if you've seen that parking lot brawl between Tony Nese and Noam Dar, it wasn't much of a brawl, anyways. I mean, it at first looked good, but then all of a sudden it started getting a little too competitive. The way it was done after that, the way it was done. When it started in a matter of seconds. But and then she talks about how Tony Nese has been suspended. I said it backfired because with the whole thing, he's trying to get the match between Noam Dar. Well, it backfired because he got suspended. So Buddy Murphy comes out of his dressing room, locker room, and talks about the whole the actions that took place of Tony Nese's part, and he doesn't blame him for that. He didn't actually say it, but he basically hesitated by saying he condoned what he did there. And then also Kayla Braxton asked him about some challenge, about some new challenges, basically something like that. Or I think it's something about her commenting about his win from the Royal Rumble pre-show. Now they're not actually saying Royal Rumble event itself. They're not saying the Royal Rumble pre-show. I meant to say, excuse me. They're just saying Royal Rumble. To try to convince fans that it took place at the Royal Rumble. For the main show of the Royal Rumble, which it was on the pre-show of the Royal Rumble. But anyways, but yeah, Buddy Murphy talks about that though, and he talks about he'll take any challengers that's coming up to him, whatever, and basically I'm saying that he's still the champ, and he's looking forward to see who's going to be his new challenger. And we'll see how that turns out. actually be kind of due, but we'll get to more of that when I do the next review of that. And finally, Akira Tozawa, being accompanied by D. Brian Kendrick, goes up against Hideo Itami, who's being accompanied by Arya Daivari. In the match, I thought it was pretty, it started off decent and then ends up being pretty good. Also, we got Arya Daivari in the match, who blindsides D. Brian Kendrick, and during the match too, Arya Daivari is trying to get involved, and D. Brian Kendrick was always there to not get involved. It was a very good job of it, the way it was done, until he got attacked by Arya Daivari, being caught off guard. This distracts Arya Daivari. I mean, this distracts Akira Tozawa, meant to say, excuse me. And then Hideo Itami, taking advantage of it, going for his running low drop kick, but misses, and he hits Arya Daivari instead, because Arya Daivari was near the ring from that. And all of a sudden, Arya Daivari, he after getting hit with that, with the drop kick, he falls down obviously to the barricade. Also we get Akira Tozawa getting the better of Hideo Itami, and he beats Hideo Itami. So yeah, basically this was WWE's way to for what pertains on Akira Tozawa's part of it, for him to be moving forward to be a legit contender, to be a next challenger for Buddy Murphy. But I'll get to more of that when I do the review of it. And the other part of it is just WWE's way for Hideo Itami to put someone over before he leaves. It was this episode that he left. But before they did that too, Arya Daivari gets in the ring to help out Hideo Itami, only to give him the hammerlock clothesline that he does as his finishing move. To send for a send off for Hideo Itami, who is now can go back to being as KENTA. Now, before I end this review of 205 Live, let me recap of Hideo Itami's WWE career ever since coming into the company back in 2014. So they made a big deal of KENTA coming into WWE for being a Japanese sensation, a Japanese legend in professional wrestling. Because if you've seen a lot of work that KENTA has done in Japan, and basically before he came to WWE too as well, he was legit. Yeah, he may be small and all that, but he can kick your ass. He knows how to put you in submission holds. He knows how to strike you very hard. That, and especially when it pertains to with his kicking tools. I mean, look what happened with Eddie Edwards when Eddie Edwards kicked KENTA, and then the theme about that was that don't kick KENTA, because if you kick KENTA will take it personally, and he'll kick you as hard as you can, and which he did to Eddie Edwards. And Eddie Edwards looked like he was in a lot of pain when he was taking all those kicks by KENTA, because you don't want to mess with KENTA. He's had his battles against Bryan Danielson, again with Eddie Edwards, just to name a few. And finally, he comes to WWE. He comes in as KENTA, and they want him to change his name to Hideo Itami. It was announced by Winrigo. Introduction. He introduces KENTA, and then from there, KENTA went from the name. Made the announcement that he's gonna be calling himself Hideo Itami. And from there, it was the rest was history for him. But then 2015, a lot changed. Everything changed plans. Hideo Itami suffered a shoulder injury that took him out of action for the rest of 2015, and he then basically took him out of wrestling for a full year, a 1 year of absence. In a way, it did hurt Hideo Itami, but when he came back, he was trying to get that win back. He's trying to get that momentum back. And he's getting there too. When he confronted Austin Aries from the Takeover Brooklyn 2 show from 2015. only for him to get hurt again. And this time it wasn't his fault that when he got hurt. It was because of Riddick Moss, who was who was just starting off, and ends up injuring the neck of Hideo Itami. So because of that, Hideo Itami has been injury prone since then. And he missed out of action for the rest of 2015 until he made his return in 2016. But from there, it was already too late. He lost the momentum that he had ever since he made his debut. Well, ever since the first injury that took him out of action. And then the second injury didn't help him out as well. So they did try to push him at one point, when he came back again, but the momentum was gone from there. I mean, they still booked him to be incredible and all that, but then also there was one time that he had a match against Orton Larkins, and he has a bleeding, and they had the Carlton match, and Hideo did not like that. He did not like the match, because he's been doing this in Japan all the time, where he's in those type of situations. He doesn't want the match to end. He wants to continue on, and he was frustrated. You can see if you've seen that episode of NXT, he was very frustrated, and he came back out. Basically, Triple H didn't make things right, for him to come back out, and he had the match against Orton Larkins again. Orton Larkins lost against Hideo Itami. And from there, he did get a shot at the NXT Championship, but failed to win it against Bobby Roode. And also, they was going for a tease to turn him heel, and they did pull the trigger from turning heel, where pertains to going up against Cassius Ohno. And the whole thing of respect me and all that. That's where the whole respect came from. Respect me. Show me respect. And I believe it was in 2017. Around December, I'm assuming, or I'm assuming it was around December, or I think it was December, where he finally made his main roster debut to be part of the 205 Live roster and on Raw, only for a brief moment. And then, ever since the whole Enzo Amore thing happened, because Enzo Amore was a cruiserweight champion, WWE decided to, Vince McMahon decided to have Triple H involved of 205 Live now, and 205 Live was no longer part of Raw, for the time being. And still to this day, 205 Live doesn't appear on Raw unless they do something where it pertains to like a WrestleMania week or whatever. Or like what we're doing right now with Leo Rush being the manager for Bobby Lashley and for Drake Maverick, who's the general manager of 205 Live, to be the managers of the ALP. And then also Lucha House Party too, by the way. Not because of the dumbass gimmick, But anyways, so Hideo Itami, they're trying to get him back on the right foot, and they have him go to Pro Wrestling Nova again. As he's on the contract with WWE. And then finally, we get to this year. He's finally had enough. He got tired. I guess he got tired of losing. He got tired of not getting the opportunity that he wanted. That he should be getting, and that's to be a champion in WWE, which he never got a chance to be a champion in WWE, which is unfortunate. So now he's gone. And how do I feel about that? I feel good. Get out of there. If you're not, he basically Hideo Itami has been unhappy since coming back to WWE, after his 2 injuries. And he's been very unhappy. He's even been more unhappier going to the main roster where they've done that with him. So they try to keep him happy again. They try to keep him happy by having him go to Pro Wrestling Nova and all that, but it still wasn't enough. Hideo did not like being in WWE anymore. He was not getting the freedom that he gets anymore. He was not getting the opportunities that he wanted to get. So he asked for his release, and I'm glad he did. He's back to being Kenta, and all he's got to do now is wait for his 90 days clause to run out, so he could wrestle elsewhere. My question is, where is he going to go? I don't know. He might go back to Person Nova. He might go to New Japan, or if he wants to, he could sign up with AEW. That way he and his family can still stay in America. Stay and live in America, basically. But that's up to him. But I'm glad that he's gone from WWE. And Hideo Itami could go back to being the Bruce Lee of professional wrestling. Going back to being as Kenta. So, Kenta, I respect you. So, Tozawa Wrestling for WWE 205 Live from January 29th, 2019. 2 matches. And my overall scoring for the show, I'm going to go 6.5 out of 10. And once again to Hideo Itami, who is now going back to being as Kenta. Thank you, Kenta. I respect you, Kenta. Thank you very much for your time in WWE. And now you can go elsewhere to do whatever you want to do after your 9 days is up. So that being said, thank you all for watching. It's the Natural Born Thriller. This is the symbol. It's the Natural Born Thriller, saying peace on the streets.